3, 2, 1. From the beginning. Welcome to the briefing for the day. Today is the 30th of July, and we're going to talk about the question of are we all security analysts? A proposed security role ontology. This relates to security jobs and roles and poor definition. This is starring myself, Brett Osborne. The Info Security Master Briefings, or the Info Security Master Briefings, however you want to call it, are 5 to 20-minute discussions on a topic or issue, and it's not intended to be a full class or full presentation like you would see at a professional organization or at a conference or something like that. Just one topic real quick. And let's just talk about myself. Your instructor is Brett Osborne, 20 years of security across a bunch of federal agencies like that one. I've got a few certifications, certified authorization professional, which is focused on risk management and system authorizations to get an authorization to operate. A little bit about me was a little blurb here is I'm an avid world traveler. You got that wanderlust, you go with it. I've been to almost 30 islands and oceans and seas, 30 oceans and seas nearly, as well as 1 month period. I once traveled 21 time zones. So I've been around the 3/4 of the world, and hopefully in the short future I'll get to the rest of them. As with all of my briefings and presentations, classes, and such that I provide, I always allow you to raise your hand. However, in this case, when your brain's full, however, in this case, I'll just provide you the LinkedIn, Facebook, and Gmail links. Take your cell phones or your screen prints right now. You will see this again at the end. This briefing is about the issue of poorly titled job requisitions. Information here is just firsthand as I've experienced it and seen it. We'll probably get to talk about some job postings and some different jobs that were posted. The target audience, all of you security people, different roles and positions, and maybe even some of you are called security analysts for one reason or another. Anyone who's looking to get their next security job, as well as HR, recruiting, talent acquisition, or all those folks, because this is really aimed at the hiring managers and HR and recruiters, talent people, because they're the one that they have to implement this change. We just kind of have to know how to maneuver the bad titles. I get that right? Yeah, there we go. The prerequisites only that you're working information security, you hire for information security, or maybe you're a HR or talent person who recruits recruit security people. Fairly simple. Here's the problem, as I've been alluding to. There should be some standardized job titles and roles. However, based upon what I've seen, it's just strangely untrue. A lot of times they use the same security words mixed up, sometimes in different order, and they can be for really different job positions. And so I'm presenting as a result a security job ontology, security role ontology. There is a lack of a standardization or consensus with these descriptions. Like I said, most of the time it seems to be some form of security analyst. There may be a word before it or a word after it. And then occasionally I'll actually be hired for a specific standardized role, such as the ISSO or CISO or security architect type of roles. And recently I've even seen one that was called Senior Business Systems Analyst. And I was wondering why Glassdoor or Indeed pointed this to me when I looked at some of the specifics. They're actually looking for a security architect, as it turns out, something along those lines. So yeah, the naming, the nomenclature is really bizarre. And I mentioned this online, and a friend commented that he was once called electronic tabulating machine operator. He didn't mention any punch cards. And if you don't know what punch cards are, look up Wikipedia. I don't actually never used a punch card, but I saw a punch card reader One time, over 20 years ago, in a data center in a corner, I don't know if it was used because there were no punch cards there, but a little bit of historical trivia there for you. Let's move on. Some of the more of the issues are that it doesn't get any better whether you're on one of these major job sites or whether it's a corporate recruiting website. You still get this vagueness, and you could be recruited. The same words can be used to recruit an apprentice firewall administrator or a master senior architect, senior security architect. Again, poor ontology, poor editing, perhaps, and some of it goes, if it's written by a HR recruiter, talent acquisition person, then they don't know the context, and they're probably Googling these words, okay, when the hiring manager walks in and says, here, I need a guy. Okay, so again, there are scenarios, I understand there could be scenarios that just cause this, but we should hope that there can be some improvement. Resources that I've been using are some of the niche special publications, such as particularly 800-37, which goes through all of the roles from the ISSO on up to the CEO, head of agency. Security architect, security engineer differentiates those. That's a good source for finding out what these roles and responsibilities are. The U.S. Department of Defense has guidance on their security workforce program, where they match roles, people that do security things, to certifications that they must have. It's fairly basic. It might not be the most up-to-date, and it's almost unknown anywhere outside of Department of Defense. And then third, I'm going to use certifications, the actual certifications for my SAC and IC squared, such as the CISSP, CISM, Security Plus, etc., to help define the different areas that we need to address in this ontology. This briefing, and now let's get to the meat of it, we've kind of been setting up. The briefing is a preface to a proposal for this ontology, security job role ontology. If you want to contribute, I highly recommend and I'm begging that you actually do fill out the survey that's coming up in a couple of pages. The current premise that I'm using is to use a methodology that's similar to the DoD role certification guide, in which we will have two tracks, a technical track and a leadership or management track. So let's just go with leadership. Each track should have 3 or 4 levels: apprentice, qualified, senior, master. And again, an apprentice is somebody who learning on the job, eyes on glass, maybe it was a technical administrator for networking or server equipment, things like that, and is just transitioning into security. Qualified means you've got a certification and you could probably handle things on your own. Senior is leader for this team, maybe a little bit cross discipline, cross area, across different technologies. And then finally is the master. And you see down here that I've got a couple examples for technical masters: forensics investigators, incident responders, folks that need to know all the technologies and need to be able to go in with the authority to direct actions that are critical to the organization with respect to technology, infections, investigations. And then also the security engineer, the guy who makes sure that the technologies are all working together, that they're all coalescing. This is the guy, these technical master, maybe even a senior guy or a master guy or girl, a master, senior, or master person, would be the people running the security information management system, collecting all the audits, coalescing them into reports, doing the different things like network monitoring, system monitoring across the whole enterprise, across multiple divisions. That's the kind of approach that these master level people would be doing. Now, on the other hand, the leadership masters would be the CISO, security architects, The security architect makes sure that all the controls are working in order, determines when, then CISO, these guys make sure that that there is a properly published common controls, that all of the controls are working together, determines when things need to be reevaluated, can see from continuous monitoring that things are slipping in some place, and there's a given flow between the technical system monitoring and network monitoring approach, the SCIM guys, and the continuous monitoring of the leadership. Those things transition, okay, and overlap. Not going to go into a whole lesson of that here. Moving on, going forward, the key thing here is the survey, and possibly some follow-ons, some interviews and things I'll be taking through different security organization chapters and conferences. Hopefully, the goal here is to come up with a real full developed white paper and with full-length presentations. You'll see some of these on my channels, Info Security Master, which is either on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, and you can see those links at the end as also at the beginning. And of course, you found this, so you know where it's at. The link there is on SurveyMonkey. It's the first 10 questions. And if you have any more commentary, please fire off an email or post to me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and we can together expand upon this. And thank you for your short amount of time. Again, there's my LinkedIn, which is Info Security Master, Facebook, Info Sec Master, and my email is Info Security Master. So thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you again with another briefing in the near future.